Good evening, everyone. Oh my God, oh my goodness. We have to talk today. Before our esteemed guest comes online, we're gonna share with some things with y'all. Let me see. Let me get this stuff ready for tonight. Uh, yeah, it's been interesting. It has really been interesting tonight. Um, Sometimes you just have to fight through things. You have to fight through things, and the reason why I'm saying that, on the way back from Ohio, um, I got parked the way home, and I suffered a blowout on 275, and it was amazing. I just thank God I didn't get hurt, didn't get hit. Um, yes, I I'm thankful because it could have been a lot worse. And so I just thank God I was able to get here on time. Yeah, it was a challenge. It was a challenge. As you all can see, I'm setting up and get ready for our esteemed guests. And then some folk will be like, oh, well, you should have that already situated. Well, things happen. And I didn't expect to have a tire blowout on the way. Uh, I didn't expect to have a tire blowout. But like I said earlier, things happen. And you have to be ready for things that happen. You just don't quit. And I said, you know what? I'm not quitting. I'm going to fight through this, and it's going to work. And as you can see, yes, well, you should have did it earlier. Things come up, okay? Things happen, and you have to be ready for it. And so, yeah, whew, that's all I shall say. It's been really, really interesting as I'm trying to get everything straight. Yeah, it's been a challenge. Today was a challenge, and oh, thank God, just thank God. It could have been a lot worse. Um, Things could have happened, and oh my God, everything is out. As we're waiting for our esteemed guests to come, we're just trying to get everything situated. But yeah, it's been a challenge. It's been a challenge. Challenge today has been a challenge, but we're not quitting. Um, Going forward, thank God just for traveling mercies. Thank God for being able to get from point A to point B. We just thankful, really. We really thankful that He saw us through this. And oh my God, this is funny. This is funny, y'all. This really is funny. I got to keep making segues and stuff like that. Let me see if this gonna work, cause scenes ain't popping up and having all type of technical glitches, but we gonna keep it moving. We're not quitting. And one thing, I don't give the enemy credit. Just stop. Things happen. And all of a sudden, I was driving down 275 headed north, and all of a sudden, pow! I'm like, what? I said, Lord, I know I ain't got no flat. I said, I know I ain't got no flat. Sure enough, I had a flat. So I said, well, let's just keep it moving, keep on going, and we gonna see what happens. Okay, but yeah, we're just thankful that we're able to be here uh, today, because it was kind of, like I said earlier, it was kind of challenging, and I wasn't sure we was gonna make it back on time. And then folk that criticized me, the first one to say, well, why didn't you do it then? I think something came up. Just like something comes up in your life. And you have to know how to adapt. You have to know how to pivot. And then what you do is you keep going. You keep going. You don't quit. You show up, and then when you show up, you just show out. Okay? So, like I said, appreciate y'all that are here, and I'm glad I got most of this set up for tonight. But like I said, it's been challenging. So while we're waiting for our esteemed guests to show up, I'm gonna give you a fast five tips to emotional resilience, which I needed tonight. Number one, express gratitude. I expressed gratitude today. I'm thankful that didn't have an accident. I'm thankful that I was able to make it here. I'm thankful that hey Rhonda, how you doing, child? Glad that you are able to be on Make a Plan TV. Thank you for your comment. I celebrate the victories for today. Today was a very impactful day. Um, was able to. Okay, you good, Rhonda? Oh, good, great, great, great. I was able to meet some new people that want to come on the show. So we're looking forward to interviewing them soon as we close out this month because starting November. Oh, here comes Mr. Mehler. Hold on, let me bring him in over here. Okay, I see you. Just waiting for you to come on. But anyway, I'll give you all the other four real quick as our guest is preparing to come on the show. So, number one is express gratitude. Share what you appreciate about your colleagues, your friends, things that you've done today. Number two is compassion. To take a moment to acknowledge the difficulties you will experience. Breathe in, breathe out. Well, I experienced that with a blown out tire on the way back to get to this interview, but I wasn't quitting. I didn't even see the thing that was uh, in the road because it all of a sudden was sent to my left tire. So I have compassion for others. Number three, build resiliency. Share positivity even during difficult situations. We're doing that now. I had to catch a lift home so I can be home for this interview. Okay. Then show kindness. Help someone by doing something small, such as helping them with a bag or opening a door for them. And last but not least is practice mindfulness. Go outside for 5 minutes to enjoy the fresh air or a peaceful walk. Get your mind together, get your mindset together, and I guarantee you that you will be blessed. So, without further ado, our esteemed guest is here. Robert, can you hear me? Let's see. Okay, well, we'll keep going till he's officially in the green room. So, anyway, yeah, just practice those fast 5 tips for emotional resilience. Um, Sometimes you need to just take a break and draw. Okay, doodle something. Just draw. Whatever your mind content is, just draw and have a good time. You have to uh, do some things to get some things off your mind. You know what I'm saying? And just draw, doodle. You know what I'm saying? Play tic tac toe. That's something I used to do to relieve some stress. Okay, or go on the computer and play solitaire until you can just unwind. So today has really been challenging, but it was only in the afternoon because the beginning of the day was nice. Had a wonderful time, got some rest. Was able to go in the clubhouse and met some wonderful people. I had to host a room from 11 o'clock to 2, and we met some new guests that are coming on MAP TV, and they're going to share their stories. Some of them are international keynote speakers, some of them are authors. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they are going to be able to do, as well as share their impactful stories. Some people have been do some real life challenges, and we look forward to seeing you. Okay, let me see in. Sign, guess. Okay. Okay, there we go.
All right.
I can hear
Here I
you
am.
now. Wait a minute. Let me pull you up. Okay. Right. I'll bring you in a minute. So let's start the show officially, y'all, because this has been an interesting night. All All right, we're back. We're about to interview our esteemed guest. So I'm gonna go over his bio briefly, and we're gonna have a nice conversation with Mr. Robert Mehler. So let me get started. Mr. Robert Mehler has a successful track record in building outstanding revenue and profit growth in multiple industries for over 4 decades. Following undergraduate studies at Bucknell University in his home state of Pennsylvania, Robert's sales and marketing skills were fine tuned in the traditional corporate environment. Coupled with his MBA from the Wharton School of Business, he became a senior vice president responsible for one of the five arms of distribution for the Pepsi Cola Company of North America. A burning desire for greater personal growth, freedom, and altruistic impact led Robert to the direct sales industry, where he became an international marketing director, corporate trainer, and number 35 money earner of 1.2 million distributors in a company that was named the number one fastest growing privately held company in America by Inc. magazine. Robert transitioned back to traditional business models as a partner of both a European car business as well as a boat brokerage in South Florida. He then built a textile converter company into a full garment manufacturer on an international scale in Los Angeles. True to his marketing roots, Robert next partnered in a full service marketing agency in Florida, driving 24 to 59% revenue growth for his new clients without an increase in marketing budget. That's impressive. Most recently, Robert is a partner in a mortgage staffing slash recruiting firm and is currently launching a new venture, private loyalty clubs, bringing a private wine club to restaurants and a private beauty club to salons and spas nationwide. He is also involved in growing NYB Publishing, Make Yourself Better, Self Development, Vibra 360, Health Coffees, Teas, and Nutraceuticals, Digably, Digital Marketing Agency, and Total Growth Payments, which is a credit card processing system. The journey has been storied and winding. Robert has now found his home with like-minded individuals, laser focused on making a positive change on the earth. So, without um, further ado, let's introduce Mr. Robert Mehler. Mr. Robert Mehler, God bless you. How you doing?
Great, great. How are you?
Just fine, just fine.
Are you not seeing my camera? Because I'm not seeing where to turn it on.
Just turn it on, and I can.
My camera's on. I mean, I don't know why it's not showing on right now.
Good question.
Yeah,
Well,
we're having some fun here today.
yes, we
Challenges,
are.
challenges.
Oh
That's
man,
what we do, though. We deal with challenges.
challenge. I was telling the show earlier how we were faced with the blowout on way home, and something came out in the freeway and it burst my left front tire, and I made it to the Rite Aid, and then I called a lift to make it home because in the morning, because everything's closed, I will have the car transported to Bell Tire and have them change it. But I didn't get upset. I said we're on the right path because I knew we were going to interview you, and I said, we're not going to stop. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening with my camera here. But, I don't know why that is being a problem.
Yeah,
because it generally comes right up, and it's. I got you, but I don't have me.
It's okay, man. We're gonna teach the folk. You got to keep going regardless. So,
That's right.
Mr. Mehler, I'm impressed because we met off Clubhouse, and I'm glad that you took the time to come on MAP TV to share your story. So it's amazing looking at what you've done from Bucknell University, and it's hard to get in the Wharton School of Business. You have to be distinguished, and I've never interviewed anybody from Wharton School of Business. This is blowing me away, sir. So, early on, when you were prior to going to college, what was your mindset going to college? Were you dead set on becoming what you are now, or did you have to figure it out?
Well, I grew up in a very conservative household, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, very conservative area, kind of Amish country. Uh, my father worked for one company his entire life, Armstrong World Industries, flooring tile, ceiling tile, and he made it to a senior vice president level. So, according to me, watching everything looked like everything was hunky dory, and that was the way to go. And he had had a good education, so my parents stressed education very highly at home. So I just kind of followed that, maybe partially because I was forced to, being a child, but also it just seemed like it was the way to go because it looked like everything had worked out okay for my dad. Um, so I studied pretty hard in school, which I guess is why and I was involved in a lot of sports as well. So I had a lot of extracurriculars, which was helpful. But then I was accepted at Bucknell, and I went there, and the natural extension was just going into business. Going and getting a sales slash marketing position in a corporation, and following in my father's footsteps because I didn't know any better. And as a matter of fact, they had a no nepotism policy at Armstrong, where they wouldn't hire children, or the children of employees. And I was the very first one they ever made the exception for, and they did offer me a job, which was a bit of a, a harrowing experience because I didn't want it, because I didn't want to stay in my hometown. I didn't want to work in my father's company because I didn't think that would necessarily be the best thing for either one of us. So it was kind of interesting that I was the first one to be offered, and I had to kind of gently let them down. It was a bit of a tricky situation. But I was offered positions with Procter and Gamble, and also with the Ernest and Julio Gallo Wine Company. As you can imagine, having grown up outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the thought of selling wine in Los Angeles and Southern California kind of took me over a little bit, and that became a pretty easy job for me to accept. So I just kind of followed everything that I'd done, and so I kind of worked within the system of education and did pretty well there, just because I just put my mind to it, and I'd always had good role models in my parents and other people around me. And then I worked within the corporate system, and really did the same thing. And had a fair degree, I believe, of success in corporate America, gaining the position that I did. And Pepsi actually helped me to go to the Wharton School of Business. It was actually kind of one of those glass ceiling situations that I was told that there wouldn't be a lot more advancement without an MBA, because that was just kind of one of those criteria, one of those, just it's a box that needed to be checked. Mm-hmm. So I actually went to Wharton while I was living in Connecticut, working in Westchester County, New York. Took the train down 2 or 3 nights a week and on a weekend to Philadelphia, and got my MBA in a couple of years.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was responsible for all of North America at the time, and I was traveling. If I wasn't traveling, I was in the classroom or on the train. So it was pretty crazy. But of course, Pepsi wanting me to do that, they obviously were somewhat flexible with my travel schedule. But it was a pretty crazy couple of years.
Did you have to really time manage during this?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I had to time manage. I had to do a lot of dancing. Fortunately, I had a staff. I had a staff of great account managers who were kind of sprinkled around the country and in Canada, by our large clients that we were servicing. So it was really their responsibility, to be touching the client. But of course, I had to come in when it was necessary. So there were times that it wasn't just time management. There were times I needed to be in 2 places at one time, and it got a little crazy.
Wow. So while you were at Pepsi,
Hmm.
what product lines were birthed while you were on were as a senior vice president? What would be
Sure.
some of the products?
Well, actually, the biggest product that was birthed was not ours. It's when Coke blinked and went to New Coke.
Oh
That
yes.
happened while I was there. So that was
Really?
probably the most astounding thing that ever happened. As a matter of fact, Roger Enrico, who was my first CEO, and I had not quite gotten to the headquarter level yet, he wrote a book afterwards saying it was called The Other Guy Blinked. So that was
Yes.
obviously a big deal. The Coke changed their formula, and as anybody that has kind of watched the cola wars or has been involved in, and if you like Coca-Cola, a lot of people were very upset about that move, and they actually, turned back around and pivoted back to the old formula again. So that was probably the biggest product we didn't have anything to do with, but it probably the greatest impact on the industry. We developed Sierra Mist,
Yes.
which was the lemon lime soda. And the reason that we did that, which was interesting, we attempted to buy 7 Up because we did not have a lemon lime. We didn't have a non cola. So Pepsi went and put in an offer to purchase 7 Up nationally and internationally, so worldwide. Coke obviously saw the writing on the wall that that wasn't going to work too well for them. So they played a great chess move and they put an offer in to buy Dr. Pepper. So the FTC took a look at it and said it was monopolization and that neither one of us should be able to do either. So I don't know that they even wanted to buy Dr. Pepper, but they kept us from getting 7 Up. But then we did get 7 Up internationally, but we weren't really interested in that. So we kind of got the leftovers to some degree. So then we had to develop our own lemon lime. So that's where Sierra Mist came in. That happened. We got involved in Waters. We purchased some Procter and Gamble. Gatorade. So then we had that. So a lot of things were happening. When I first joined Pepsi, we had Wilson Sporting Goods,
Oh, I remember that.
North American Van Lines, things that really had nothing to do with one another. It was just PepsiCo just became like a large financial holding company with Pepsi Cola, Frito-Lay, and it was Wilson Sporting Goods and North American Van Lines. And we ended up, divesting of those only because it just didn't really make sense with what we were doing. And Coke was kicking us up and down the street, having the McDonald's account for Fountain. So PepsiCo then decided, well, we'll try to get more Fountain business, and we'll do that by buying Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut. We then bought California Pizza Kitchen as well. Actually sold that back to the owners that we bought it from because we didn't know what we were doing with that thing. So it was, that was a little off the reservation. And then, of course, Frito-Lay. Frito-Lay has bought up just about every brand known to mankind across the nation and internationally. I think in the United Kingdom, Frito-Lay has 99% market share because they've just bought every brand that was worth anything. So it was interesting. And while I was with Pepsi, I had the opportunity to be the PepsiCo liaison to a group that was called PepsiCo Partners. And we'd meet every month, somebody from Pepsi-Cola, somebody from Frito-Lay, somebody from all of our restaurant groups. And we would sit down and talk about how we could create greater synergy. But once again, not sure who all is listening to this right now. I don't want to get myself into too much trouble. But the bottom line is, I found in corporate America and why I kind of made the change out of that after a fairly strong career and still at a fairly young age, and spent now the last 3 decades, just about 3 decades in different businesses that were more of we're more working within the concept of abundance instead of scarcity. Within Pepsi, it was, and this is my personal opinion but from my personal experience, I felt that, it was a very guarded environment. And if I wanted something, I pretty much had to take it from somebody else. And if somebody wanted something, they were probably going to be trying to take it from me. So we weren't really working on the concept of the water rising and all boats rise, that there's plenty for everybody. That's the definition of abundance. We were really working scarcity, and we were more working on the competitive side versus the creative side. And it also manifested itself not just within my own environment at Pepsi, but then when I went to the PepsiCo Partners, I'd walk out of some of those rooms wondering if we were all on the same team or not. It was, and you'd get lip service. Everybody was like, yeah, we'll do that. And then nothing ever got done. So because it really wasn't it wasn't being manifested in the compensation plan. It wasn't being manifested in the plan for each of the separate companies. It sounded like a good idea to work together, but my personal opinion is it didn't work all that well. So I was, under a great degree of stress, as you can imagine. Don't really feel like I was helping a lot of people from the standpoint, obviously not with our products. I wasn't helping anybody from a health standpoint. And I was running Denver Pepsi at one point in time at a pretty young age. And I've got to say that, there were people there at Denver Pepsi who we didn't treat that well when we bought it from a franchised owner who had done a tremendous job of managing that business for years and years, for decades. So I wasn't too proud of some of that, but it was, once again, what needed to be done, quote unquote. So I decided that there had to be another way. There better be another way. The problem was, as I already said, I was trained traditionally, and that's really what I knew. So I didn't, I'm always kind of jealous of people that grew up with entrepreneurial parents,
Right.
Because, it was simple for them to have the mindset to become an entrepreneur. There I was with a Wharton MBA and a senior vice president level at Pepsi, look at me, and scared to death to go out and try to do something on my own.
Wow.
Because I didn't know. I really hadn't been trained for that. Going back to my education, Bucknell University, tremendous school of higher education. But I had one professor, one in 4 years. And, I don't know how many classes out of 4 years there were, but, I don't know, 20, but 40 probably 40, 5 at a time, 2 semesters. So probably about 40. So one professor had ever run a business.
Wow.
Had ever run their own business. So this was a lot of book knowledge being taught by book readers. And I was reading a book. And then at Wharton, I think I had 2 or 3 professors that had ever run their own business. So it's just not real prevalent. Because if you're running your own business, you probably don't go, working in intellectual endeavors, in teaching. You just generally don't. So it just wasn't something that I knew. So I needed to, fortunately, I got close to some tremendous mentors who had what I felt like I wanted and knew what they were doing. And, I got introduced to, I was reading things that I'd never even heard of. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of Think and Grow Rich,
Yes.
written by Napoleon Hill. I had never heard of that with a Wharton MBA or senior vice president of Pepsi. Never even heard of it.
What?
Didn't hear of that until 1990, I don't know, 91, something like that.
Wow.
Yep, never heard of it. Yep. So, how was that education? And and then Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. I hadn't heard of that until about 2 years ago. And pretty much everybody had already watched The Secret and already knew that. And that was the basis. I was late to the party, even with personal development being very strong for the last 30 years. So I guess it's the thing, the day you stop learning is the day you die. The day you stop growing is the day you die. And you've got to understand you don't know what you don't know. And then you have to also be smart enough to realize that once you learn it, that you didn't know it before. So you need to understand other people may not too. You can't be, oh, now I know. Well, you don't know what's wrong with you. No, you need to realize, hey, everybody else is on that same journey. And so we're involved in some great things right now that I'm very excited about. And you and I met in Clubhouse because of the XP Mentor Group, which I'm involved with some other executives that I've worked with over the years. And our goal there is to create a platform and a movement of, we want 1 million people in the XP Mentor Group. And what people are learning is how to be a good entrepreneur. How to be able to control your subconscious mind. How to take care of your health. Because so many people, when they're building business, they let their health go. Then they build their business, they're successful, but their health has gone to hell, and they use all their money on their health.
Right.
So how to keep from having that terrible thing happen. Because you see it happen over and over again. It's one of those things. If you see what people are doing and it's not working, you need to do something different. So, you and I met in that XP Mentor Group. We've got people like Dr. Forbes Riley,
Yes.
The queen of online, or not online, TV sales.
Yes.
QVC and everything else. She sold, I think, $2.4 billion of products through infomercials.
Yes.
Starting with Body by Jake. So,
Yes.
we've got some tremendous people that we're bringing into this group to help lots of people learn. We had 1,000 people come through our Clubhouse room the other day, and it's just incredible, actionable information teaching people how to have success. Once again, using that abundance and not scarcity. We want to help everybody to succeed, because if we can help 1 million people to have great success, whatever it is that's success to them, whatever it is they're looking for, and then they understand that they can turn around and help other people, we're going to have a better world. So it's just a far different way that I'm operating now than I ever did. And it's not saying that my upbringing was bad. I just don't think people necessarily knew that then. I don't know. My parents are great individuals and God-fearing folk, and they're ethical and moral and tremendous people. My father is 97 years old, still alive today.
What?
Yeah, and still living in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So he'd still have the same phone number if he didn't have to move down the hall. And he had the same phone number I was born with until about 5 yeyears ago. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, man. I told you they're conservative, man.
Yeah,
he still had one of those rotary hardline, one of those black phones that you could kill somebody with.
That's funny.
So he's a trip. But and true to form, when I called him, letting him know I was leaving Gallo after 2 years and 8 months because I'd been recruited by Pepsi, he thought I'd lost my marbles. I was like, Dad, it's another chapter in my book. He goes, well, your chapters are awfully short, son. But that's from a guy that worked for one company his entire life. So it's all perspective.
Right.
And I think today he doesn't necessarily even understand what I do anymore because he understood traditional business.
Right.
So he doesn't quite get it. My sister's a realtor. He understands that because he's used them.
Right.
But he looks at me sometimes and what is that you're doing now? Like, what? You're a private wine club for restaurants? Huh?
Yeah. Don't mention XP mentors.
Yeah. I should actually ask him if you ever read Think and Grow Rich. I've never seen him on his bookshelf. He had a lot of books.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, it's I'm sure he'd look at me and say, "Of course I did." But then I would say, "Well, then how come you never showed it to me?"
Ooh. Good point.
So I do wonder. I guess I'll ask him that one of these days when I'm feeling bold.
Yeah, right.
Well, as long as I'm 3,000 miles away.
Right. I think what you have done for XP mentors is you're leveling the playing field. I've been in the rooms with you and Jay Nolan and Dr. Forrest Riley, Stack Pack, as well as others, and I really am glad I'm a member of XP Mentors, as well as the Facebook group, the actual platform, because the videos I have seen have been really helpful to me. And then when I'm able to speak on the stage, I can tell the experience, and then I can tell folk to sign up. And I think what you are doing, you, Jay, and the staff is amazing, because you really have not only helped me, but you help a lot of people. Sometimes people don't know how to come back and say thank you, but I can't,
right,
because I've seen the growth of just my show from a couple of months ago until now, and I really want to interview you because not only your story, it's funny. I'll tell you this quick story real quick. I had reached out to someone else about joining my show as an a guest, right, Robert? And so when they found out that you were coming on MAP TV, now they ignored my message, which I sent over a month ago. They inboxed me the other day with the excuse, and I know that they read my message because you can see when they read the message on Clubhouse. So I looked at it, I just kept it moving. I didn't respond. I said, nope, I'm good, we're fine, no disrespect. But it was funny, but they only reached out because they knew you were coming on the show.
Well, I'm glad to be of help. And I put in the comments. Actually, I don't know. I think I put it in the right place. xpmentor.club. Yes. So you can go to XP. It's like extra special XP mentor mentor.club, and you can go in. And it's a free group to be part of. So you can get all sorts of information. You can be part of our clubhouse room. We do it at noon. 6 days a week. So we got another one tomorrow morning at noon Eastern time, 9:00 a.m. Pacific. And you can come in and, jump in, jump out, listen when you can, be doing other things and listening to some incredible people who've kind of been there, done that, got the t-shirt. They've already got that success, and they're teaching others actionable things. I mean, one of my good friends and business partners, Jay Nolan, he built a business from his kitchen table to over $400 million a year. And then he was kind of moved to the sideline as far as running the business, was just still partially owning it, and they dropped down to about 60 million. So not only was he able to show how he scaled it up to that level, but he was also able to talk about what they had done wrong that he was unable to stop because they were in control, but what they did wrong to bring it back down. So I mean, that kind of information on how to scale a business and how not to scale a business, to me, is priceless. And so you can get that kind of information in there. When you sign up, it's just real simple who you are. There's 3 simple questions, and then it asks you what you're most interested in about your business. Personally, I only checked one of them at first, but then I was only getting helpful hints about that one thing. So I went back in and checked them all because I'm like, hey, I want to get as many nuggets as you're putting out. So I get emails almost daily from it, and it's all free. If you want it to be free, that's called kind of the light membership. It's free, but then only for $8 a month, just $8 a month, you're into XP Mentor Pro. And there are video after video, audio after audio that are available for free for just the $8 a month that teaches you, when, for instance, Dan Pila, the #1 tax expert in the country. There's stuff in there about, business taxes, stuff in there for accountants, but stuff in there for people owning businesses. Because you know what? Your taxes is your #1 expense basically in your business. So helping you to know that. Dr. Forbes Riley, how to pitch your business. Jay Nolan, how to have the correct mindset. Stephen Kochel, who was the head litigator for Federal Express, and then an assistant attorney general in the United States for business law. Because trust me, there's stuff you don't know and you don't want to get caught up in. So, I mean, it's just all this, Herman, Uncle Herman is with his credit, and he can help you get business credit. That's a big reason businesses fail. Right. So I mean, there's all this stuff in there it's a library, and you can just click on it and listen to it as you're working out or walking down the road or driving in the car. Some of it's video, some of it's audio, and we're going to continue. We're going to have as many as 20 XP mentors that will all be in different categories. We got Giuseppe Cedrella, who does real estate. Yep. I mean, just the other day, he taught people how to buy real estate with no money. So, I mean, it was right there. So once again, that's free. But for $8 a month, it's amazing what you can get. And then what's really cool is if you're part of the XP Mentor Pro, you can sign up for what's going to be a 4-hour success summit this Saturday. So the 8th of October, this Saturday from 12 to 4 Eastern. So for 4 hours, Forbes Riley, Jay Nolan, going to be pouring their hearts out on the 9-step framework for a successful entrepreneur. Wow. 9-step framework for a successful entrepreneur. So once again, $8 a month, you get all that stuff. You get to be part of things like the Success Summit. To me, it's like a no-brainer if you really want to, kind of level up and learn some new things, but not learn it like I did from a book. Learn it like I did afterwards from people who knew what they were doing, and I was doing the same thing, and actionable data. So, it's not just, it's stuff that you could start utilizing that same day to start having greater success for yourself and your family.
Right, and those of you who are watching the show, you see the banner ad that's going on the bottom of the screen where you see you're watching MAP TV. Please consider joining xpmentor.club. Please join. You won't be disappointed. I'm a member of it. Okay, please consider it because there's so much wealth of information in there that will help you in your mindset, and it will help you in your business. So Coach,
let me say something. Let me jump in. You bring tremendous value to the XP Mentor Club also. All of your shares, you come in, you know what you're talking about, and you're helping others just as you are with this show right now. And I so appreciate being your guest, and I'm sorry about the camera not working, but hopefully the voice is coming through loud and clear. They always say that I've got a face for radio, so it's probably best you're not looking at me anyway. Okay. But I'm telling you, your shares are phenomenal. Yeah, I don't want you to distract you.
No, you're good.
But your shares are great, and obviously, and we know each other because of that. So I mean, it's a tremendous networking thing. So, if there are people out there that are in the credit business, or people out there in real estate, or want to be in it, or, you want to get your mind right, because you got to have your mind right to have success. So you want to learn how to control your unconscious mind, like Wallace D. Wattles teaches, Napoleon Hill taught. That is in there every day. You can be getting trained on that till it's drilled into your head. Like I got stuff drilled into my head, for 12 years of going through high school and then 4 more years and another couple of years, I just had the wrong stuff drilled in my head.
Right.
I had the wrong stuff drilled in my head, so I ended up in the wrong place as far as I was concerned. For others, they may feel differently, but that's what happened for me. So then I had to go back to a whole new level of education. It was a complete paradigm shift. I mean, it was scary. It was like, because I knew my first reaction would be wrong, because my first reaction had been taught for 30 some years, and that wasn't gonna get me where I wanted to go. So I had to just stop. I mean, I'm a master diver. I'm a big scuba diver.
Really?
And yeah. And when you learn to dive, I mean, you're doing the most unnatural thing in the world. You're breathing underwater. I mean, that's just every bit of wrong. So your body's like going, this isn't right. I'm breathing underwater. So it's completely, you have to, and if you ever just react when you're underwater, you're going to get hurt, because your first reaction will generally be not so good. It'll be panic, because you're in a very unnatural state. So you get all the training that you get, but in the very beginning, you need to learn when something happens to not react. Right. You stop and think and act. Stop, think, act. And you know what? That's exactly what I had to do when I became an entrepreneur.
Wow.
Because my first reaction that I've been trained for so many years and I've gotten so good at, that was about being in more of a corporate environment. It wasn't for being an entrepreneur. So my first thought would be wrong generally. I used to sit around finding problems all the time in the corporate arena.
Right.
Now I'm completely solution oriented. Now it's like, I can fix that. Oh, we'll figure that out. Right. Solution. Right. Problems are just little speed bumps. Before they're like boulders. There were boulders, and I used to decorate them. I'd be like, hey, look how cool this problem is, man. Let's stare at that and bitch about it for a while.
Right.
That just made no sense. So there was a real paradigm shift, and then you get to a point where you think correctly for what you're trying to do. And I believe that that's what the XP Mentor Group can really help people get there so much faster, because there's so many people pouring in so much incredible data. I mean, I know I've gotten so much out of it, being part of it every day, and and I'm where I'm at. So I mean, if it's somebody just thinking about going into business for yourself, man, I mean, I wouldn't have been as scared had I had this kind of an education first.
Wow.
And if you're just getting your business off the ground, you'll be able to scale it up a heck of a lot faster. I can't make any guarantees, but I got to believe you got a much better chance of scaling faster and growing a much stronger and lengthy business being part of a group of like-minded individuals who are willing to share success tips.
Right. We got a couple of comments I got to shoot at you. One is from Shayna Danielle Parker. She says, "Too funny, not a face for radio." And the second one is from her husband, Adam Parker. He says, "This is awesome." So, Robert,
I appreciate you both.
Yeah, you're doing great, and I'm looking at this bio, and you were number 35 money earner for.
Yeah.
How did you accomplish that? I mean, did you have?
Well, I'll tell you. Well, first I was scared to death. So this is the first thing I did when I got out of corporate America. I became part of a direct sales company, and I was scared. I kind of burned the boats. The old thing, burn the boats,
okay,
so you can't leave.
Right.
And I realized I was either going to be very successful or I was going to be destitute on a park bench begging. So I was going to do whatever it took. I made that decision, just like, the chapter decision in Think and Grow Rich. Because once again, I didn't even know about Science of Getting Rich back then. I only knew Think and Grow Rich. So I read that, and I read that book with a passion. I could name you all the chapters. So I was scared to fail to the point that I made sure I did everything I could to succeed. Wow. And by doing that, I went hard, I went fast. I duplicated other people's success that I saw with me. Fortunately, I had some good mentors, and I just continually kept growing my business. Yeah, and within 2.5 years, I was at the top level of this particular company, and I was a trainer in the company, training sometimes 3,000 to 5,000 people, generally 300 to 1,000, but sometimes much larger groups. And I kept learning more and more and more, and the higher I got, the more I got to spend even more time with people even more successful than me, and they just poured into me as well, because once again, it was abundance and not scarcity, and it kind of kept helping me get to another level, so that, when that came to a close, I wasn't really afraid of anything anymore. I knew I could pretty much do anything I put my mind to, and I got involved in businesses that I didn't really know much about at all, but they were just seemed like good businesses, and I surrounded myself with people who did know about the businesses. I bought into that fabric company and became a partner there, and I didn't know the difference between a knit and a woven. I didn't know that one was a weave machine and the other was a knitting machine. I didn't realize that one stretched and one didn't. I didn't know that stuff. But it didn't matter because I had people that did. I knew how to run the business. I knew how to get to the bottom of it, and I knew how to treat people a heck of a lot better than I felt that we did in the corporate world. Right. So I was able to surround myself with good people, and we had great relationships, and they were able to grow. So therefore, we grew, and they were well taken care of, and that was just a completely different atmosphere than I had existed in before.
Wow, that's amazing. We have another comment from Shayna. She says, "To overcome fear, you feel yourself with knowledge. Love it. You did what you had to do." Oh my God!
That's a great point because a lot of times, Shayna, it's true. If you have fear, you can get analysis paralysis. I don't want to take a wrong step. Fortunately, I was surrounded by people saying, "Walk this way," and I knew which way not to walk, which was my natural way. So I had to change my gait. But you don't want to have fear paralyze you. That's important to know. But I made the fear propel me. I made the fear make me change until it was natural. Until now that I'm a master diver, I teach teachers of diving.
Really?
So yeah, so it's and so it's a completely different circumstance. And now my reactions are normal underwater. I can react because it'll be the right thing now. Versus 20 years ago, probably would have got myself killed. Right. So it's but that's how you learn. It's the whole concept of just like when you learn to drive a car, you are unconsciously incompetent when you're first learning to drive a car. You don't even know what you're doing wrong. That's why one of your parents or somebody sitting next to you going, "Hey, no," because you're just making the wrong decisions, but you don't know any better. So you're unconsciously incompetent. Then you grow to a point where, okay, I know I'm screwing up because I'm just not good at this yet, but you're aware that you're screwing up, which is conscious incompetence. That's the next level. So now you're like, okay, I know this isn't right. I know there's something different I need to be doing, but at least I'm aware of it instead of being clueless like I was in the beginning. Then you become consciously competent, meaning that you do know what you're doing, you can execute it properly, but you're having to think pretty hard about it. Right. You're really having to put your mind to it. Wow. Then you finally graduate to that final stage, which is unconscious competence, where it is just natural competency that comes out because you have trained your brain or trained your body, whatever it is that's involved in whatever it is you're doing. You've trained it to react and act the correct way. And so then it just becomes a natural act. And when you can get to that point, then the fear is gone. Success will be there, and you'll have time to take a breath and turn around and help other people and pay it forward.
Wow, that is some wonderful advice, Robert. I mean, wow, just you sharing that has helped us. Not only helped me, it's helping all the people that's watching this, as well as the people that will watch the replay. I just think that's amazing. So, question: this new venture, this private loyalty club. Explain that, please.
Yeah, sure. Well, we're really excited about it. I mean, I wish we'd come up with this idea before the pandemic because I think it would have helped a heck of a lot of restaurants to have something to fall back on when they were forced to shut down or forced to be at 50%, and obviously problem. It's two things. It's a private loyalty club which is designed to make people go back to the same location over and over again, creating loyalty. So maybe you go to a certain restaurant once every two times a year. We want you going there more than once a month. So you want to go to that particular restaurant more, and I'll explain why. Same thing with the private beauty club. That's for salons and spas. So in the case of the restaurant, you go into the restaurant and you're seated, and they ask if you like a drink, and they're bringing your menus. And at some point, the server will then say, "Hey, we're starting a private wine club here at Giuseppe's, let's call it." So it's Giuseppe's Private Wine Club. And if you'd like, I'm going to leave you this information, this literature. Take a look at it. And if you're interested, I can answer any kind of questions you have. But bottom line is you can order 2 bottles of white, 2 bottles of red, or a white and a red that will be here for you in our restaurant every month for $79 for 2 whites, $89 for a white and a red, or $99 for 2 reds. So then you can come in and you can drink it whenever you like. And if you'd like to sign up tonight, I could give you a free pour of wine or champagne if you like. or if you prefer, maybe a free appetizer or a free dessert with your meal tonight, because those are the kind of spiffs that you're going to get as honoring you as a private wine club member every time you come in. Every time you come in, there's going to be something free you're going to get. Maybe it's maybe there's a special, bottomless mimosas with our brunch when we do that. And if you're a private wine club member, you show your credential, you get that. Maybe it is a free dessert or a free appetizer, or maybe it's a 2-for-1 that's special for you. And maybe we'll do a special chef's table, just a private party for private wine club. So you always have these different spiffs that you're going to get for being part of it, as long as you're a member of our club. Mm-hmm. And we have a charity. I'm involved with Brett Saberhagen, who was, Cy Young Award winner, Cy Young Award winner, MVP World Series, no hitter. You name it. It's 2 Cy Young Awards actually, and he's got a charity, Saves Wings, for cancer. And we just raised $1 million with a major called Strikeout Cancer event a couple weeks ago. And so thank you. And there's a percentage of our revenue that's going to go to Saves Wings every month for every member. So they're getting paid. And what else is cool is the server is going to be paid a commission for every time they sell a wine club. And then every time the person re-ups it every month, they'll get more residual income every month. So hopefully it will help servers to make more money in these tough times. It'll help the restaurateur to keep servers, because as long as they stay, they'll keep getting this extra money coming in from the private wine club they sold, because when they leave, that goes bye-bye. And it's going to allow the restaurant to get people coming back in more often, because they're going to be treated as they're going to be treated with special things. And it's also a national program that has reciprocity, so it's reciprocal. You'd be able to go onto our website, and if you're going to be traveling to Denver, you can look up in Denver and see who's the private wine clubs, and you go in and you'd be treated just the same way. Because, you could look at it going, oh, well, they're going to have to give you something free. Yeah, but they're going to get the rest of the money that you spent coming in. Wow. And then you're going to go into that place instead of somewhere else, because you're treated like royalty. So we're setting that up. We're teaching them how to be able to sell it. We're also going to kind of be their concierge, help them be able to grow their business, just general training for the restaurant, because we've got a lot of experience. I used to run the hotel restaurant division for the Gallo Wine Company, and my partner's been involved in it. We also have artandwine.com, where we're going to do videos of all their businesses and put that on our site and help to promote their businesses. So it's a win-win-win all the way around. We just take one piece of money from each transaction, and the restaurant gets the rest, and the charity. So it's, and the other cool thing is they're going to have a tablet which has a software program in it. So they'll put all their people in that. They'll now have a customer relationship management system, because most restaurants don't do that. No, they don't. And beauty salons definitely don't do that. They're so good at what they do when you walk in their door, but they don't really know what to do with you once you walk out or when you're out on the street. So now, for instance, maybe it's a Tuesday and they see the reservations aren't doing too well that night. They could send out a group text or group email or however at like 3 o'clock and say, hey, private wine club members, come in tonight. We're going to give you this. And you know what? If they just get 4 people to come in and spend $60 each, so they're $240 that they didn't have before, because now they can communicate with their people and create loyalty. So we're real excited about it.
Yeah, you should be. And I got to go to the comments real quick, Robert, because we got some good ones. Tamika G says, wow, that's amazing. And I got another one. Proud of you, fam. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate you watching. So, Robert, this is amazing. The wine club, the private beauty club. I mean, you thinking outside the box, because some of this stuff they don't do. In fact, a high percentage of it they don't. And you're actually creating a loyalty program where they can, a continuity program as they call it. Just like you said, we know Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night are slow. Let's send something to them. And now you've increased their revenue, because some of these people will come in those days where it's slow. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they booming. But that makes a lot of sense. And I think it's
not to mention, if two couples go out to dinner and you're the member, your friends are getting part of that spiff also, and then they're going, wait a minute, I want to join this club.
Right.
So it should grow. It should grow multiplicatively and in an astronomical way. I mean, we expect there to be millions of members of both these clubs, and then we expect to go. We'll be going national next year. We're kind of just testing it, getting the bugs out right now with about 50 restaurants, and then we'll go beauty clubs and national restaurants next year. So look for it in a restaurant near you.
I'm personally tell you, I want in on that information because I would love to be a customer because I like white wine.
There you go.
Saying. I'm just saying. So you are also involved in MYB publishing. Explain that for us, sir.
Well, it's really about personal development. MYB stands for Make Yourself Better. All right, so we our company can do anything from a sizzle reel, and we could go as far as a Hollywood movie if we wanted to. We have that ability. So we're producing stuff for Forbes Riley now, which is all about personal development, about fitness, about other things she's got going on. We got Dan Pila. So we actually produce those things while at the same time we actually took The Science of Getting Rich, Wallace D. Wattles, which was written, I think, in 1914 or 1912. I forget what year exactly. It was about 27 years before Think and Grow Rich. And because it was written back then, in the 1910, 1915 period, it was very sexist. Not using that word in a bad way, but it was a man's world back then. Women weren't even voting, obviously.
Right.
So it was always a man does this and he does that. So it was written in a way that in today's world could kind of set off some red flags for some people reading it, and they may not be able to bring the content into their heart as much as they should because they keep staring down this he and him and man. Mm-hmm. So we actually made what's called a universal edition. So we went through, it took about 2 months. We went through the entire book and changed all that, a man, he, him, to a person or man, woman, and we changed it so it was universal, so it wouldn't be, kind of a stumbling block for anybody, so it wouldn't hamper their learning. So we did that with NYB Publishing. We've got a few other books that are out there too. If you go to nybpublishing.com, Make Yourself Better, you can see other things that we have. So we're involved in anything that will be from a personal development standpoint that we can be producing. We've got best-selling books that are already out. So we're just having a lot of fun with that because, once again, everything we're doing is designed to help other people and to kind of do the same thing XP Mentor is. Right. Create that movement of people and just help them get where they want to go, and then give them the power to help other people do it as well and make it a better world.
Wow, and that's amazing. Then you have Vibra 360, healthy coffees, teas.
Yep.
When do you have
we've been involved. Yeah, since the 90s, and Jay Nolan and I met back in the 90s in that company that was #1 in Inc. magazine.
Wow.
And we were dealing with healthy products, coffees, teas. Jay's been doing coffees and teas for over 20 years, and nutraceuticals, putting the right stuff, right fuel in your body, all natural, minerals, because vitamin is a vital mineral.
Right.
So it's it's about minerals, and so we've created a bunch of great products at Vibra. Actually, it's Vibra because it's it's vibrant, but it's Vibra 360. And you can go and see all about our products there. We've got great things for inflammation. We've got great things for kind of keeping you regular so that you're not having, inflammation in some of the inner parts, because, so much, disease and stress, comes from that acid buildup, and it comes from, bad things in our body. So we're helping to kind of clean that out. Coffee is a great product, meaning the coffee bean obviously is very, very good for you. Caffeine is why people love it for the jolt. But the caffeine itself is very bad for us. It's very dehydrating. It's decalcifying. It's very acidic. So when we add Ganoderma and other mushrooms that been around for thousands and thousands of years and tremendous medicinal purposes behind them, we are actually able to negate the negative impact of the caffeine. Wow. So you still got the great coffee bean, and we use nothing but the best Arabica beans from Colombia. Okay. And it's fresh roasted, and then we add the Ganoderma and 5 other mushrooms, and we have 6 mushrooms in it. So it actually makes a healthy coffee. And I've noticed a huge difference drinking it myself. Been on that kick for 3 or 4 years, and other people just love it, and it's affordable. I mean, it's gonna be a heck of a lot less expensive. It's not gonna be your Folgers price, but Folgers, people don't understand. Typical coffee is at a pH level of 5 to 5.5. And if understand pH, 7.2 is balanced. And you don't want an acidic level. You want it to be on the other side. So if you're drinking coffee 3, 4, 5 cups a day at 5 to 5.5, that's not going to help you to have an alkaline situation in your body, which is how you can thwart disease, especially cancer. And I'm not making any medical claims because we can't, because it's all natural.
Right.
But you know what? It's a shame that in this country, the only people that can make medical claims are drugs, because I think we know what's going on with that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We got a couple of comments for you. Pastor Samara Mitch said, and I love coffee. And then she also says, I'm in. So Robert, could you please let us know where can you get Vibra 360?
Yep, I'm gonna get that for you right now. I'll type it in there. And I guess we got the XP Mentor Club in there. That's good. Let's see what I can do here. If I put in the comments, it comes through, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
There we go. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make sure that.
Yep. So let me just pull this up.
Man, our short time of being here, you have brought down a house with this wonderful information, not only of your life skills and what you have done. This is amazing, just hearing your story and how you're able to segue all this into all these wonderful private clubs, the beauty clubs.
Oops,
spas.
I typed that wrong.
Are you good?
No, I did it wrong. I left out 360. Vibrant
Okay.
360.com, not 30.
Okay.
30 won't get you, because you got 360, man. It's all the way around. It's all the way around, full circle.
Now, y'all,
But yeah, you can go in there when we've got, tasty coffee, tasty tea, tasty lattes, great things for your internal system. Okay. So, check them out. And guess what? Once again, money back guarantee. You don't like it, you get your money back. Same thing with XP Mentor Pro. If you don't think it's worth $8 over the next month, we'll give you your money back. We're not, XP Mentor Pro should be a couple $100 a month. But we want a movement of 1 million people, so we're trying to make it affordable for everybody we can. That's what we're doing with everything. Because the bottom line is, I learned a long time ago when I first got out of corporate America, you shear a sheep for life, but you only skin it once. We were skinning sheep at Pepsi. We were just skinning them, slaughter. We'd get to the 4th week of one of our periods, and if you weren't hitting your numbers, you started burning furniture and sometimes burning people. And it was very short-term thinking. But if you just a little bit off, it all grows back.
Right.
Everybody's fine. So you just got to treat people the right way, and that's what we're trying to do. Plus, we don't want to create. There are too many barriers to entry and too many barriers to people changing to begin with. They got their own thoughts. We don't want to give them any thoughts to help them not change.
Right. Wow. So, lastly, I want you to talk about Diggably. That I hear what you're doing in the room, and I think it's amazing for the sheer fact a person could go in with their website and they can find out the strengths of it, the weaknesses of it, and what plan of action they could take to better their numbers and their call to action. I've heard you talk about it for probably the last couple of months, and then there's been some people who have actually used it and they know what their results are. So could you please share with us that, sir?
It's cooking. Yeah, it's exciting because once again we're involved with XP Mentor and we're involved with all these entrepreneurs, some in different stages, some people just saying, I think I want to put my toe in the water, but they're kind of scared. Somebody maybe has started their business and they've started their entrepreneurial journey. Other people that have established businesses, some people are in the growth period, some are just kind of getting by, and some people are in a momentous growth stage. So great. But the bottom line is, I saw at Pepsi, because we're obviously a multi-billion-dollar company, the kind of tools that we were able to use there to significantly increase our capability of success in business, which just aren't available to the common person with a business. And then I owned a full-service advertising agency, marketing agency for a decade in South Florida, unfortunately in Fort Myers, Florida. So I want to put my prayers and thoughts out to everybody there in that ravaged area after Hurricane Ian. Many of my friends lost everything, so it was very, very sad. But I had the experience working there, and once again, we charged a lot of money for our services because we were good at what we did. Right. But that was a barrier to entry that most smaller businesses wouldn't be able to do. So Diggably.biz is basically about managing your online presence, not just your website. You did mention website, but you know what? You can even use it if you don't have a website, and you better use it if you don't have a website because we've got to help you get a website. So we need to at least get you moving up along. So it can help you manage your online presence, which is probably the most important thing in business today. 20 years ago, a storefront was important. You had to have brick and mortar store. If people didn't take you seriously, you couldn't invite them to your back sewing room to show products or services. You couldn't have them in your basement of your house or your garage. They wouldn't take you seriously. Well, same thing today. If you don't have an online presence, people don't take you seriously. They want to see reviews. They want to get more information, because information technology, it's at our fingertips now. Yes. So you got to be ready to play that game. So Diggably will take. You simply go to diggably.biz, and it asks you your first name, your last name, and your email address, and then you'll get a email within 24 hours, and you'll have the opportunity to do a couple things. You can get what is called a Dig-A-Scan, and the Dig-A-Scan it's about a $495 value that we're doing for $8.95. Again, we're making it so affordable because we want people to be able to do it. And the Dig-A-Scan will go in, and once you put that information in, and and if you have a URL for your website, great. But if you don't, it's still going to look at your businesses. It's going to ask you all these questions about your business. So then it will be able to go in and through using bots, go in and scan everything online to find stuff out about your business. So things about, the customer voice, what people are saying about you, whether what's going on with reviews, your reputation management, how you're dealing with what people are saying, how you're dealing with their how you're responding to it, social media marketing, how you're doing with that, your advertising intelligence, your listings, whether you're listed on Yelp and Google and those types of things. So it's going to go and grade you on about 7 categories, A through F, just like a school report card, very simple. And the key is getting the information so you know where you stand. Because if you don't know where you stand, you're just running blind.
Right.
It's like if you don't have a target, you're always going to hit, because you don't have a target. So, you're always going to hit something. So you need to know where you stand. And then the most important part is going to give actionable advice on how you can go in and increase your level in any of those categories to get better at it. So, for $8.95, and then it'll continue to scan every month. Okay, every month you're going to continue to get information, see how you're improving. It's going to keep giving you more information to be able to be helpful. I mean, it's going to do stuff. It'll show you the keywords that people are using in order to see information about your business.
What?
So it can help you with your website. It can help you with your SEO, your search engine optimization. Okay, it can help you with funnels and tasks and projects. It's kind of a one-stop shopping. So that is $8.95. You pay it one time, and you keep getting information coming from that. But then you can kind of move along as you grow, your business grows, your finances grow, invest back into yourself and your business. So we have what's called a Business Suite Lite. It's only $14.95 a month. And that will give you even more information about your social online, your online presence. And you will have the ability to build up to a 3-page website for that. And when I owned my agency, we would never charge anything less than $6,000 for a website. The Fort Myers Beach, which the incredibly ravaged, yes. we built their website out for $90,000 because they had 450 members. All the businesses. So $90,000. So we're talking about for $14.95, you get a 3-page website, and every month it'll tell you how you're doing. It'll tell you how your SEO is, tell you how your website is, tell you how your content is. It's going to help you with all that stuff. And then, then you say, hey, I want more because I'm making more than what I'm putting in, which is what an entrepreneur in business is all about. Well, then we've got the Business Suite Pro, which is $299 a month. Then we've got one that's Business Suite Growth. It's $799 a month. And that's when you're ready to grow to that level. So it's kind of a la carte. You move as you go, as you grow, and you can get more and more. And obviously you're going to be making more than you're putting in. That's the whole concept. Right. Because when I look at it, $299 a month or $799 a month, if you wanted me to do your social media marketing with my agency, you're charging you $500 to $2,000 a month just to do that. Right. SEO, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month just for that. The website costs I already mentioned. So this is like so incredibly affordable. And once again, you can stop it at any time you want. But if you're using it, you should be making more than what you're putting in. And you can grow with it. As your business grows, you bite off more and you chew more and you get more sustained energy and you're able to grow more business. So, we're just helping people to create more awareness about their product or service, to create more interest in it so that there's a want on the part of the potential customer, and then helping you to engage with that potential customer, then they convert them so that they become a customer. You make a sale, you obviously make money. Then you nurture your relationship with that customer so that you can turn them into what we would call a brand advocate. Somebody that will speak highly of your product or service. And that is the best form of advertising in the world. And it's the cheapest. It's called word of mouth. So we're going to help do all of that. You can go to work doing what you do best, your product or your service. If you've got a restaurant, making sure that you got a great menu, great staff, well-trained, clean place, exciting, fun vibe. But then we will take care of everything online. Mm-hmm. So we kind of say, you do what you do best and let Digably do the rest.
Right.
And it's just an opportunity for people to start out on a very small scale and be able to build as they want. And you can probably tell I'm pretty excited about this. We're just launching it right now. We've got a few dozen people already participating. Mm-hmm. I'm personally watching it myself for proof of concept, and we'll be rolling this thing out after a while, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And also, going back to Vibra 360, here's a cool thing. If you go to Vibra 360 and you're interested in those products, you can also scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you can opt into an affiliate program where you will get your own link for those products that you can pass out to whoever you want. You can put it out there on social media. You can talk to your friends, and you'll make 30% on every purchase that they make. So it's it's just a single level affiliate program. But hey, we'll help you out with 30% on sales. So the bottom line is, you get a few people using those products, you get your products for free. Why not?
Right. Wow. Man, you have brought down the house tonight, and I'm like. What do you? How do you relax besides skydiving? That's what I want to know. What do you do?
Well, I live in beautiful Paso Robles, California, which is the Central Coast, California, halfway between LA and San Francisco, and I'm in wine country here.
Oh.
So we have 400 wineries. So I can certainly relax by going and checking out one of my local wineries. That grape juice does have a tendency to relax you. I work out and I train every day. My girlfriend's a fitness trainer and a sommelier, believe it or not. So she's a wine expert and a fitness trainer.
Wow.
So I train every day, and to me, it's not, having a lot of things going on is kind of exciting, especially when everything's building. So it's really more exciting than stressful. And as I said, I've been trained for so long that it's not really problems, it's just obstacles, and it's all about solutions. So it's just fun having that all happen. And when you're surrounding yourself with great people, it becomes even more fun. So I'm just having fun doing all these things and not really too worried about any of it. I mean, because worrying doesn't do you any good anyway. What's going to happen is going to happen. But you expect what you inspect. Keep a close eye on things. But I'm just having fun doing it. And then I've got outside things I enjoy doing. I like to play golf. I'm a windsurfer. Obviously, I like diving. I love boating. So I do things to keep myself sane. You have to get away for things. I'll go sit on the beach for 3 hours and be totally rejuvenated.
Wow, man, Robert. Look. You just electrified MAP TV. I mean, electrified. It just tore down the walls, put in new carpet, everything. Man, we appreciate you for coming on board.
Hey, I appreciate you having me. It's an honor to be here, and I'm glad that we were able to collaborate, because that's what it's all about. And anything I can do for you or any of your people, I'm happy to help.
Yes.
But check out some of those websites, because I'm telling you that they're there to help people just right off the bat. It's great to feel like everything you're doing is designed to help others while you're helping yourself, help other people get where they want to go. You'll never want for anything.
Yes, and I'm gonna ask you now, please do a part 2, because we had some challenges tonight, and I would love
got to get this camera working.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking, man. So me and you
can just put a stick figure up on the replay or something.
I'll make sure
get a blackboard and just draw a stick figure.
I'll make sure that we talk and don't hang up, because the guy in the show, as you all can see, Mr. Robert Mehler just brought the house down. And please go to xpmentor.club and sign up. Also, Vibra30.com. Please visit this 360. I'm sorry, Vibra 360.
That was my fault.
That's all right, Robert. We good. We made the correction. Vibra360.com for healthy coffees, teas, etc. And lastly, please, ma'am, please, sir, consider Digably digably.biz. That's digably.biz. If you need help, if you with your numbers and help on your website and your social media, please visit that site, and I guarantee you they will be able to help you. So, any last words, Robert, before we do the show close? And please don't hang up because I have to do the after action review with
I
you.
got you. No, I
Okay.
won't. I won't. But no, listen again. I appreciate everybody that's listening. I appreciate everybody that's going to hear the recording afterwards. Just know that you can achieve anything that you want, anything you desire. You can achieve. It just takes effort and some specialized knowledge. And a lot of what we talked about today was how to be able to get that knowledge to have greater success. I don't care what kind of business you're trying to grow. You get to XP Mentor. You go in a clubhouse to XP Mentor Room 6 days a week. You spend some time in there. You're going to come away much stronger with much more knowledge. Why not go down a paved road? Why be one of the settlers that was going from the East Coast to the West Coast in a covered wagon with snakes and potholes? And why do that? Other people have already figured it out. They're willing to help you. So you're going to be scared. And making change is always difficult, but change is the only thing that's constant in this world. So might as well get used to it and just have fun with it. Just have fun. But I appreciate each and every one of you. And Coach, I appreciate you so much and love to do this again sometime.
Okay, man. Thank you so much. And don't forget, don't hang up. I got to end this show. So
You got it.
appreciate y'all for staying. As you all can see, we have some issues, but we fought through it. And this is what you have to do in life: is keep going. Things happen. I almost didn't make it to this interview tonight because the tire blew out. And I'm calling Mr. Mehler. I said, hey, man, I'm going to be home in a minute. But I made it because I made a promise to the people that are going to watch this show. We were going to be here at 8 o'clock. And guess what? We made it. I had to catch a lift, and we made it. And my car will be in the shop tomorrow because Bell Tire is closed. But it'll be there in the morning. So we appreciate you all. Please comment and share. And go to the YouTube page and put comments, and we'll greatly appreciate it. And with that, we're going to end our show ending right now. So y'all hang on, and thank you all for watching.